Okay, welcome to In the Middle with Principal Hayward. I'm joined this week by a grade 6 math teacher, Mrs. Tracey Weise. And Tracey Weise,
Hi.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you've been teaching here since 2009.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it?
Yes, I do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
One of the things that a lot of teachers in Norton, when I've come here from a different district, they actually live in the community, and you're one of those teachers.
I am indeed. That's what brought me to Norton Middle School.
Oh, just that you lived in the community?
I moved here in 2008.
From where?
Just next door from Attleboro.
Okay, and
So,
then an opportunity opened up, and
Yeah, I had been a stay-home mom for a while when my kids were little, and then it was time to get back to work, and it's like, oh, well, might as well plow you to the town I'm in. It'll work well with kids going to school.
yeah, this sounds so nice. It sounds so great. You live in the, but for me, I'm like, I drive home and I'm like, okay, by the time I get to like exit 8 on 495, Principal Hayward is leaving, and you know, Daddy is starting, and my own kind of identity away from the school. I'd find it tough to work and live in the same town because I've never done that.
Yeah.
Just going to the supermarket and things like that. How is it challenging living and working in the same town?
I think I'm fortunate because of the kind of town that Norton is. I don't know that I could work in just any town.
Okay.
But the town is such a good community feel. Everybody's friendly and nice. It's
Yeah.
funny when I do run into students, like especially if they're still in the middle school or the high school, I get different reactions. Sometimes it's, "Hey, Mrs. Weiss," and then other times like, "Oh no," you know, they're ducking away and don't want, you know, just don't acknowledge me at all, or they like their parent acknowledges me and they start rolling their eyes.
Yeah. So
far so good. The parents have been really good. Like they kind of treat me as the person outside of school and leave the teacher stuff in school.
So they recognize, okay, this is your profession, and then this is Tracey Weise, the person. Yeah. And they give you that space.
Yeah.
That's good. And I noticed that about the community here. When I came, it was very welcoming, and probably one of those communities that a teacher could successfully do that. But for me, I can't even imagine the kids, because I live far enough away, but if they saw me a hat on backwards doing yard work.
Oh yeah, no, it was funny. In the fall, I went for a jog down the road, and it was just not a dress-up day, and like there were all these kids. I live in a street, there's not many kids, but there was a Halloween party going on, and they were all outside as I was jogging by, like, hey, like, hi.
But it really speaks to the fact of a person who, and the teachers, you're one amongst many, who really have a deep commitment to the town, not only as a person who works here and earns a living here, but a dedication to the well-being of the town overall.
Yes, definitely.
The trust that you're going to have your own kids go through the school system, and in fact, in some cases, right through your own class.
Yes.
So you have 2 children.
I do.
Currently here at the middle school.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. So the mommy me is now in work. So it's not just like work is going home now. Now mommy is in school. But it's been kind of neat because unlike other parents, I could never go and do the field trips or a lot of the things in school. So now I'm kind of getting to see the school side of them a little bit more. So far, so good. You know, from when they were very little, they're like, "Yeah, I want to have you for a teacher and stuff." I think, you know, Matthew doesn't have me for a teacher right now, but I don't know if there's anybody in the building that doesn't know he's my son, because he's always like, "Hi, Mom," wherever I am in the building. And so it's been nice. It was a little bit scary, actually, more for all the friends that were coming, because now I sit on the soccer bench. And so now these are the parents of some of my students. So, but it's been going well.
So Norton seems like a place you could pull it off, and 2 great kids, obviously, and students coming through the school right now. So you started in 2009. We're about the same age, so obviously you had a different career before, or you spent time in the workforce before doing other stuff. Did you teach before you would come to Norton in 2009, or were you in a different profession?
I had another profession, but I did also teach somewhere before. So the funny thing is, I originally always wanted to be a teacher when I was going to school. But I was encouraged to go and do something else where you can make more money. Exactly. So it was either to go for engineering or accounting, and I wasn't as big into the science, so I went the accounting field. And they said, yeah, you can do anything in the business world once you have an accounting degree. So that's what I did. And so I started off in public accounting in a small firm in Providence. And I just did a couple of years, and I was like, this really is not what I want. I don't really care talking about the business stuff. I'm not interested in it. I don't see anything I want to do. But the parts I enjoyed about my job was always when I was tutoring the new people on the job. And I thought in my college years I enjoyed when I was working with, and like everything I reflected on was always when I was teaching people something and helping them to do something. So I said, I'm going back. So I went back to school and got my master's degree to go into teaching.
From where?
Rhode Island College is where I got my master's. So my undergrad was at Bryant University, and so I got my master's from Rhode Island College. I was able to do that while I was still an accountant. They were kind. They didn't want to lose me as a staff member, so they kept me on part-time while I was going to school. And then my first teaching job was actually in Easton, next door, over there. And it was actually still 6th grade, but it was all subjects.
Oh, okay, because the elementary model.
Yes.
What is it that you like about teaching? Because you said you kind of like it whether it's an adult, a kid, training an employee, someone to become an accountant. What is it that draws you to just teaching, or what do you get a charge out of?
I think it's helping somebody to grow and learn. You know, I love it when the kids are like, "Oh, I get it." And, you know,
the aha moment.
The aha moment.
Yes, and math lends itself to a lot of those where you just see, ding, ding, that kid got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best feeling when they're like, "Oh, you're such a good teacher. I understand this much better." I enjoy sharing what I know and helping others to learn. And
Now, math is one of those things. You have people, adults too, and I've been guilty of it, and I'm actually trying to change my language that I use around it with it. I'm just not good at math. How do you break that with kids? Because like in no other subject do I hear, I'm just not good at art. I mean, well, art a little bit, but like I'm just not good at social studies. I'm just not. It's kind of like people kind of limit themselves right away. They say like, okay, this is my limitation. How do you break through that? Because so much of what we're trying to do with the kids is to go beyond what they think their limitation is. But I feel that sets into kids earlier than any other subject.
Yeah, it does. And it sometimes depends on the home environment. And sometimes parents, you know, not knowingly but unknowingly, they kind of enforce that, oh, I was not good at math either.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So that happens. So I start the school year with a letter to the families. And in that letter, I tell them about growth mindset and, you know, please try to use this language, you know, that you can get it with hard work, you will learn it. Don't just say you're not good at it. And then we did a little bit of growth mindset on Khan Academy. And I have them reflect at different points in the year. You know, how am I doing? Where can I go? I encourage them to do test corrections that you can learn from your mistakes. And so I kind of, as they're going, you know, I've had people do retakes, and I said, see, and they have to do a lot of extra work for it. I said, see, with that extra work, you were able to get it.
So the high expectation really that with support, with effort, everyone's going to be able to achieve. And that kind of growth mindset where you know, I'm not good at math yet. So just adding yet to everything.
Our team actually has a nice growth mindset thing, and so a lot of the teachers are using yet, so we use that in the room too. And actually some of the students started to say it because they were hearing it so much on the team. In my classroom, they're like, oh, I just don't understand this. Oh, yet, I know. So some of them started incorporating the yet language works.
Now math is, I'm going to ask you just because we bounce around on the show. I ask different questions, we change again. Do you think math is something that humans created or discovered?
Oh. That would be a discovery.
You think it was something we discovered?
Yeah, it's in nature. It's all around.
Yeah, so it's not so much something we put order to things. It's just inherent within everything.
Yeah, it's discovery, and then people get curious and they start to explore things. Like when I talk about pi, and like there's so much research and we still can't find all the numbers in pi.
If I was a math teacher, I'd put pi on the board and say, work on that for a while.
And then I think it definitely became necessary for civilization. You know, they needed to be able to build things, and you know, you can't just randomly put stuff together. Well, how does this work? And math is behind it.
What's a lesson? Because I've been up sometimes and I've seen some. I could probably answer this question for you, but I want your answer to it. What's a lesson that you do that you think is memorable to kids, or that you think is kind of either your creative lesson or a lesson you like teaching?
I don't know about the most creative. I have a lot of different things that I do with them. I'm known for my silly chants and dances.
That was one of the ones I was thinking.
So just, you know, I definitely work on, you know, the why we do this and understanding, but sometimes they just need something to help them to remember. So like converting mixed numbers into improper fractions, I do this thing. It's the bottom times the side plus the top, keep the bottom.
The kids know this song, I'm sure.
They do, and they know the little dance. They're probably like, oh, why didn't you get up and do it? So they know it, and I've had kids come back to me, and actually the whole working where you live thing, I ran into a former student at a restaurant. They're now becoming my waiters and waitresses and things and stuff. And he's like, oh, I remember. And he gave me one of my little chants that I did. So it stuck with all those years.
So that's pretty memorable to the kids. You also try to make math enjoyable and fun. and do different things beyond the dancing and stuff, which is great. And I saw you doing the coordinate plane
Yep,
lesson,
we did the coordinate
get the
plane
kids
out in
up
the hallway.
and moving.
Yep.
But the technology piece, one of the things that I know anyone that goes through Six Purple has used Khan Academy, and they use that. Is that a good tool? Why do you use it? What do you think the benefits are of Khan, and how is that helping kids maybe learn quicker, more, deeper?
Well, it's the immediate feedback that they get.
Okay.
So, you know, they do the problem and right away they know whether they're right or wrong. And not just whether they're right or wrong, but there's videos there that they can go and they can look at it and learn from it.
Yeah.
It's the reinforcement of it.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes to fit all the, you know, the review throughout the year in the 40-minute period. So having the Khan Academy, they do that. They have mastery challenges on there, and they have these little, you know, the figures they get, the awards, the prizes. I make it an incentive thing, and they get awarded for, you know, how many points they earned that month, how much time they were on, and how many skills they mastered. So every term right now, I have a goal for them to master 25% on there. And they earn homework passes and things. I've already got somebody who's already mastered the 6th grade curriculum on there, and they're going on to 7th grade. So it's also good in that sense where they can move at their own pace. And so the kids who need more, like, they can go ahead and they can learn it. And the kids who need that extra reinforcement, they get it that way. So, and there's nice reports that come out from it where at a glance I can see, you know, which concepts students are struggling with. I can use that to help with ice time to work with them.
So feedback to the students and to you.
Yeah, and I just gave feedback to a parent actually who was concerned about their child, wanted to know, you know, they didn't do well in the benchmark, where do they need the help? So I said, I think I can get a report on Khan. And I printed it all and could give to the parent. Okay, here they are, because they're thinking about getting a tutor to help out too. So
that quick feedback to kids is so important. I know you have your neighbor upstairs, Christina Shalingo, does a thing on gamification and things like that. I think kids in the kind of video game age are so used to getting that quick feedback.
Yes.
Okay, I did this, they hit the reset button, they do it different. Okay, oops, they got me again, hit the reset button, do it different. So they're used to a feedback cycle that is so much quicker than taking the papers home, correcting them, and getting them the next day.
Right.
And I do like that element of Khan, and that the fact that they get the feedback, and then that they can get some support through the videos and things like that. So it's just one of the new tools that I think you've kind of infused into the curriculum pretty good. You recently, speaking of good at math, I know we just had students from China visit, and you were a host family, and those kids excelled at math, and that ended up being kind of like spoken about as kind of a common language too. 'Cause that was a class that were able to go in right away despite the language difficulties and kind of make a connection to the content.
Yes.
And they kind of were comfortable with that. But you hosted some Chinese. How was that? Tell me about that.
It was really good. They were here for 2 weeks. They showed up on a Monday and left on a Monday 2 weeks later. Talking about technology again, that's part of what made this visit so great, is before they even visited, I was able to do a video chat with them and greet them and their families and keep in touch with their mothers while they were here. And then it was 2 boys. I'm used to a boy and a girl, so taking on 2 more boys was definitely a lot of energy in the household. But they felt welcomed in the schools, and then when I was taking them home, they felt very comfortable, and it was already like they were roughhousing and stuff. And
we had so just for the people watching, we had 14 students from China come here and spend 2 weeks in our school, 11 down at the Yale school and 3 here at the middle school, and then we had different host families, and you hosted 2 boys.
One was a 6th grader and one a 5th grader.
And I remember I was at one of the kind of the farewell events when we were saying goodbye, and Matthew had said, I really enjoyed it because I never had brothers before. And, you know, he said it so quick and genuine, but I don't even know if he realized how deep that was by saying I've never had brothers before, really indicating that they formed that much of a bond and kind of are doing what he identifies as brotherly things. So it's really, and this is the second time you did this?
Yes, I hosted with we also had an exchange program, I forget how many years ago, but 3 to 5 years ago. There was high school students at that time. And we had a couple of them. That was a shorter visit, just a week. So this one was better in the fact that it was 2 weeks, so it was more time to get to know. And the kids were closer in age to my kids, which was really nice.
And they did some shadowing here with your kids at the school too.
They did shadowing.
Excellent. Now, what draws you to say, I'm going to step up and do something like that? Because it's not just because you work here. This is obviously commitment well beyond that, and something you you're interested in world cultures, different things, travel. Like, what drew you to say, you know what, I want to invite these people into my house? One, that's one hurdle, and they're also from a totally different culture. It's not just people coming from New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's kind of been in my life since I was very young. Actually, my best friend when I was in 2nd to 4th grade was actually from Japan. So at a young age, I was exposed to somebody from another culture, and so I worked with her in school a lot, and we were very close. And she had to go back to Japan when her dad's work visa was over.
Okay.
And then we were pen pals. And then I got to go and visit her in Japan. So I went to Japan for, I think it was 3 weeks that I went for.
How old were you?
I was 15.
You were 15 and you went to Japan?
Yep.
Did your parents go? Or you
just
on your own?
They also invited my sister to go. She was younger, so she was 13 and I was 15.
And so you're 15?
Yeah.
And they give you a kid to take care of too?
Well, she was 13. I had to take care of her.
Well,
but that's kind of a whole funny story because my mother actually had a unique opportunity to go to England at the same time I was going to Japan. So she was in England and my dad was the one putting us on the plane.
Yeah.
And they had arranged for there to be a chaperone on the planes.
Yeah.
But when we got there, the woman's like, you're really kind of grown up. I really don't think you need the chaperone. They're going to like follow you into the bathroom and everything.
Yeah.
So my dad's like, okay. So he was convinced. So they canceled the chaperone. So my sister and I, did the flight thing over there on our own. And it went fine. I remember we befriended, there was an American living in Japan. She was on the plane. So she helped us when we got off the airport. Because once we got to the airport, there was no English going on.
Wow.
So she helped us get through the airport. And fortunately we were going to stay with friends. I knew the whole family, and they stepped forward out of the crowd, and
then
so that was a very interesting experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I love to travel. Before I got married, I went to Europe with my husband, and we visited Germany and Italy. When I was in college, I used to work for a study abroad experience.
Yeah.
So I used to encourage students to go study abroad.
Other students?
Other students at my college. And it was funny. They used to be like, gosh, you sound so convincing. Have you gone? I'm like, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
And then I did eventually go. My junior year, I went to Spain. So I did 6 months study abroad in Spain.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the whole cultural thing comes in. Like I've always been connected to people from other cultures and interested in meeting and traveling.
So that opportunity came up, and it's
so
kind of like
it
wasn't if we should do it, it's how we're going to do it because we're doing it.
That's how it is, And I also I have experience hosting children in general. There's a program called Fresh Air Fund, and that brings inner city children from New York into the suburbs of New England. And so every summer since 2010, I've been having children come to my home from New York for 2 weeks in the summer.
Every summer?
Every summer, So my kids are used to sharing their bedrooms and doing life, and so that's a little bit easier in that I'm not at work in the summer, so I can be a mom of 4 a little bit easier. So this was more challenging than it was during the school year.
You don't have the language things, but certainly there is like a cultural difference just between urban and suburban and different parts of our own country. We're such a vast country that you can get that even without, crossing an ocean. Mm-hmm. So you kind of always exposing the kids to a variety of cultures and different things.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's very good. Braver than I would be. I joked with the kids when we went in. I said, I grew up in Randolph. I didn't even go to South Randolph until I was like 15. I didn't even go to North Randolph until I had to go to high school. That's the Fresh Air Fund, and that's something is that something other people can get involved in? Or
Definitely. I'm always trying to encourage people to do that. You can just type in Fresh Air Fund on a computer, and it'll come up, and they interview you and do a background check, and then they match up.
Yeah, and to recap the gist of it, it's to give kids from urban areas Fresh Air Fund, the opportunity to come to more suburban
to enjoy the fresh air. They don't get to, just go. I remember our little girl when she came, and she was just 6 years old when she came, and we had the swing set in the yard, and she just ran. And for the first few years she came, and that's the thing. If you develop a bond with the kids, you can invite the same kids back.
Oh, cool.
So it's like this ongoing relationship. It really worked for us, so we've always invited the same children back.
Yeah.
And I remember she just run out to that swing set every time she got to my house. Now she's a teenager; she's not as much as interested in the swing set, but
so it's like Camp Weiss.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay, so you get a one-way ticket to anywhere in the world. So one-way means you're not coming back.
Not coming back.
One way. Where would it be? That's where you got to stay.
Oh, Gosh, I can tell you all the places I want. Where would I want to stay? I'm gonna say I'll pick Australia on my list.
Australia.
Yeah, it's a place I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really neat. I'm very much into the outdoors and photography, and so I think it would be a great place there.
So if you had to go and stay anywhere, that would be the place.
Yeah.
All right. What's more exciting to you, the first day of school or the last day of school?
Oh, they're both for different reasons. Well, can I go with like the part of the year? Like the beginning part of the year is more exciting than the end of the year.
Yeah.
I always get recharged thinking about the new year and getting to meet the new faces.
Yeah.
Like I'll start, like once MCAS is over, like I'm already like starting my next year in my head, and I start getting excited for it.
Yeah.
I don't know the first day I'm not excited for. It's really boring in 6th grade because we have to do lockers and give our boring blah, blah, blah drill.
Yeah.
I'd say the last day of school is more fun.
Yeah.
First day is more boring, but it's just what it's all about, all the newness and starting
the
things.
newness, looking forward to it. Yeah, I kind of get more amped up on that first day because I'm like, oh my God, the building's going to be full, and I'm kind of there. But it's different types of excitement or looking forward to stuff. And finally, what do you do? What does Mrs. Weise listen to or do in your off time? Like, what do you look forward to when you're not teaching and you're not having to do mom? You're so busy. What are some things? So when you have time,
when
not
I'm not
correcting,
a mom, that doesn't exist.
Okay, not correcting, but you're not like shuffling the kids here or there. What's your like kind of happy spot?
Okay, when I have my free time,
Yeah.
I love to read.
Yeah.
I love like mysteries, page turners kind of books. I'm into photography, so if I can have time just to go off with my camera, like in some of those winters we had all that snow, like I just go out for hours with my camera, taking shots of little things that other people don't even look at, you know.
Yeah.
So photography, reading.
Yeah.
I like going for bike rides too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope and the vacation coming up for vacation, you find some time to do some of those things.
I will definitely be doing some of that.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. Tracey Weise, grade 6 math teacher, 6 Purple.